Good morning. It's September 27, 2024. We're critiquing the news. The article on your screen is from the Cairns Post and it's titled Greens Home In on PM. Have you ever wondered why the Greens believe in impossible things and never change those beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that they're wrong? That's because their social standing and worldview depend on maintaining those consistent but illogical positions. One example is their steadfast belief that negative gearing of residential investment property to properly account for input costs amounts to, quote, millions of dollars in tax handouts. They believe that mum and dad investors who work extra hard to invest for their future and to provide homes for people to rent in the short term are the reason that some Aussies have, quote, given up hope of buying their own home in the medium to long term. If the Greens' logical idea to, quote, phase out negative gearing and the capital gains tax discount was enacted, it would drive the remaining property investors out of the market and the housing crisis would explode far beyond anything we've already seen. Owner-occupiers would snap up the resulting flood of rental stock at bargain prices, and then there'd be a dire shortage of rentals for those who must rent for whatever reason. The Greens would be responsible for long-term tenants being turfed out of their homes. Making rental property investment impossible for mum and dad investors won't fix either the home ownership hurdle or the housing crisis, but it will put all rental properties ultimately into the hands of the corporations, which is obviously a globalist Marxist green agenda item. As we've come to expect from the low-info, low-IQ Greens, they display no awareness of the real reasons for the high cost of housing construction and the housing shortage. The high costs are because of the Labor-Liberal Uni Party's war on the affordable energy that built this society and the plethora of unwarranted regulations that flow from the ridiculous anti-scientific premise the whole thing is based on. The housing shortage is because of the Greens' Labor comrades continuing to import an immigrant we don't need and can't house every 42 seconds, which is in line with the UN globalist Great Replacement agenda, as stated on their own websites. Every vote for the Greens is a vote to make it harder to buy a home and to drive up house prices, to make it harder to rent a home and to drive up rents, and to make it harder for governments to balance their budgets and to drive up state and national debts. The only entities that benefit from Greens' policies are the corporations and the globalists who control them.